Hey there, welcome to the course. In this beginner series, I'm gonna walk you through the basics of Blender 3D step by step. By the end of it, you'll know enough to build your own simple 3D models from scratch, even if you've never opened Blender before. We'll start off by showing you how to download and install Blender, then we'll jump into how to move around in the software and use basic transformation tools. From there, I'll introduce you to the Extrude tool, which is a super useful tool for shaping your models, followed by Bevel, Inset and Offset, each one giving you more control and detail. Then we'll explore modifiers, a powerful way to speed up your workflow, and take a look at the asset browser to make organizing your work easier. I'll also guide you through basic camera movement, how to navigate Blender's panels and layouts, and finally we'll put it all together in a fun-letting final project. So yes, let's take it one step at a time, enjoy the process, and let's get started. Alright, now we have already gotten over all of the things that we need to make our final project. About the materials, we will do it along the final project. Let's quickly see how you can access the camera. Let's just delete these. Okay, press Shift A, bring a camera. Press Ctrl, Alt and 0 to move the camera to the viewport or the angle that you are viewing it. Okay, press Shift F to actually move, use WASD to move up with the camera, press Shift to move a little faster, press right to cancel it. Okay, middle mouse button to move out of the camera, press Shift S, selection to cursor to move it wherever you want, press Alt R to reset the rotation. Everything involves the same as any other object. You don't actually need to scale or anything. You can just point this to the viewport and move. Okay, move. Suppose you want to parent it so that it moves along with it. See, press the child, Shift, select the parent, Ctrl P, parent it. You want to remove the parent, Alt P, clear parent and keep the transform so that it doesn't shift its location. Okay, alright, you can actually change the modes from here, from perspective to orthographic to panoramic, and you can play with these settings. Alright, now let's quickly start making our final project. Let's have a quick walkthrough of your Blender navigation panel. Okay, this is the T panel, this is the N panel. These are some of the pre-made workstations, or you can say work layouts. For modeling, you can use this. For sculpting, UV editing, texture paint, animation, shading, and all of that. This is the tool. These are the tool sets. Okay, this is your gizmo. This shows the different kind of modes you can actually enter and edit your object. This is the properties tab, render tab, output, view layer, scene, world, collection, object, modifiers, particles, physics, constraints, data, material and some textures. these are different view modes. Okay, this is the wireframe mode, which you can also enter by pressing Alt Z or Shift Z. Alt Z is for the X-ray mode, Shift Z is for the wireframe mode. This is the basic solid mode. Press Z to access all of them: material, wireframe, rendered, and solid. Okay, this is your outliner. Everything you have here will be shown here. This collection mainly means it acts as a folder. Okay, collection is a folder, that's it. You can actually change the colors of the folder to make it appear kind of appealing. When you have a lot of models, you can have way too many collections, so you can have them organized here for a better understanding. You can actually edit these layouts. You can press the right button and you can either vertically split or horizontal split. Okay, also you can press Alt Control Q to actually enter this mode: top, front, and other orthographic angles, and it's the same buttons to exit it. That's it. So far you have learned the basics of Blender, and now it's time to bring everything together. In this final project we are going to model something really cool. It's the perfect way to apply what you've learned from working with basic shapes to learning how to use the modifiers. Now if you are feeling a bit unsure, that's totally normal, but trust me, you already have the tools to do this. I'll walk you through every step and you'll be surprised at how everything clicks into place as we go. By the end of this section, you'll have a complete 3D model of your very own tiny house. Let's build it together. Let's dive in. Awesome. So before we start our project, we will first import our reference image. Inside Blender, you can actually go to the image editor and bring in your image. So, in general, whenever I start a new project, I basically inspect the image, try to find as much as simple shapes you can find in the image. So, most of the time I try to make a block. As you can see here, we are starting with a plane. Try to match the basic, mostly the main visible item, like kind of the largest item. Okay, so in this image we are seeing the main building. Basically you make a plane, you extrude it, move the edge. We can also see a kind of symmetry here, so you can just duplicate it. Anytime you think something doesn't match, you can completely delete it. Don't feel bad if you have to delete something you made. It's part of the process. Here you can actually bring in a plane or a cube directly here, but we can also use the tools which are shown in the video. Generally, when you have a kind of complex shape, try to break it down as much as possible. Try to break down forms, shapes. Think of ideas you can actually use to create it. As you can see here, for the doors, I simply made a plane and extruded it, deleted the face for a better inset, delete the extra faces, and for those edges you can see, you can actually just separate the door, mark those edges, bevel it, and extrude them inwards. That will give you edge, like a gap. You can use this method in a lot of places. You can simply press Alt E and you can actually insert them or extrude them along their normal. Normal always points or shows the direction of the face, so it's one of the most commonly used feature. Also, in this tutorial, I'm not actually deleting the stuff I came across. Okay, I'm showing you the raw footage which means I'm showing all the pieces that I actually went through. Whenever you are starting a project, you will go through multiple cycles, right? You will go through different kind of forms, different approaches. So you can actually use them as much as you want. Feel free to try any method which can give you the same outcome. And also, like, see, in schools, teachers used to say like, you have to use a particular way to get a particular result. Well, in 3D, there are multiple ways to get the same result. So we can't exactly say like this particular method is better than other. So you don't actually have to follow a specific thing. By the time you finish this video, try this project on your own actually. You'll find different ways to actually make it. Some ways are like you can make a plane and extrude them to make the blocks, or you can actually start with a cube or any kind of rectangular shape. Because as you can see, this project, mainly all the shapes are rectangular, right? So you don't actually have to focus so much on complex stuff. You can make blocks. Just try to match the size. Doesn't have to be too much accurate, because this is not like constrained project, right? You are free to do anything which you feel looks good. Also, you can change the mirrors if you want. This is a very simple kind of mirror, and also here we are not going to open those windows, right? So you don't have to worry about the insides. Just make sure it doesn't overlap with the wall. Also, in case you get confused at some places, the screencast keys will be showing you the buttons that I use. You can see I'm using Alt-C a lot, because Alt-C lets you see through objects. Shift-C gives you wireframe mode, but try to avoid it, okay? Because when you get like a tensor model or a tensor project, there is a high chance your project may crash. So also make a habit of continuously saving your project, like every 2 minutes. You can actually set that, like Blender has this feature, like every few minutes it auto saves your files. So in case you lose your project, right, suddenly it crashed, so go to the file setting, there is a recovery option. Click on auto save, not last session, okay? Also, by the end of this, you will be definitely able to make different kind of houses. And not just houses, you can actually make lots of different stuff. As long as you can imagine it, you can actually make it. So you don't actually have to worry about anything. You will know all the tools. The ones that I taught you are kind of enough to actually get something done. So you don't actually have to worry. Also, suppose you are zooming into an object, right? Suppose you are trying to zoom into an object, and after a while you cannot zoom in further. Then press the dot key or the period key on your keypad. On a full-size keyboard, right? You will need a full-size keyboard. On that you can press the period key, and that will let you zoom much more than it would normally allow you. Also, whenever you want to like level up certain vertices or faces, just scale them to 0 on a specific axis. That will level them up. And in case you feel like there are vertices that are completely overlapping or there are hidden faces, you can actually just merge with M and by distance. Also, in case some faces are hidden, if you accidentally hit the button H, just press Alt H to unhide it. Also, you can set up your own shortcut keys. If you press the right button on any tools, it will give you an option for quick shortcut or something like that. So you can just set your own shortcut keys for a faster workflow. Also, as you can see here, not a lot of the times things are accurate or things are scaled properly, right? Like the front is thicker, the back is thinner, the base is like non-uniform, right? So don't worry. This shade right here is something I will be deleting later and making it again, because this does not look uniform, right? Which, as you will see, I later saw it, so I deleted it and I will be making it again. Here for the stairs, there are actually multiple ways you can actually make stairs. One of the approach is this one. It's pretty easy, but it takes time to do it. It's just repetitive. So either you can actually just use the stair from the bevel feature, or you can use this one. Here what I did was I selected an edge, moved the cursor there, press E on a face and scale it to the level of the cursor. That will also give us overlapping vertices, which at the end you can merge by distance. So you don't exactly have to worry about it. Even if you have duplicates, you can always delete it, you can always hide it. Okay. Also, this is one of the ways you can actually make stairs. When you want to repeat an action, just press Shift R. It will automatically repeat the same action. Also, if you want to make uniform faces, just make loop cuts, bevel them, delete the extra faces, fill the space. That's it. Welcome to the part 2 of our final project video. In this we will be retaking the first block we made and we remade it. Try to match the size. You can see here it's kind of thinner. You can actually just make it slightly thicker, or you can move the face on the x-axis. You can use a cube to make the windows again. Don't worry about the faces moving inside of it because you won't be able to see it. The simple rule is in Blender or in general in 3D, the simple rule is if you can't see something, you don't have to make it. Just make all the things that's visible to the camera, so you don't have to worry about the back side or the insides. Also, you can just make one window, and in case you have duplicates, just press Alt T and move it to the side you want. That way you don't have to texture it again and again, or you can just, if you have duplicated, then you can press Ctrl L and copy the materials. As you see here, you can just make control loops and you can just extrude the faces, or you can separate each face and then extrude them to make individual wooden plates, or you can say panels. For the base, I just copied, like I made a duplicate of the bottom face, separated it from the main parent, I extruded it. With the help of loop cuts, you can make faces for the legs, or if you don't want to do that, you can just bring 4 cubes, extrude them, those will be your legs. For the top shade, I used the same thing as I did for the bottom. Duplicate the face, extrude it, bevel it using the bevel modifier, and try to keep the shape and direction of the extrude towards the normal. You can make a loop cut and bevel it, extrude it towards the normal to make those indent, and you can use this same thing to make the top part of the main building, that's the larger one. Also, when you want to slide an edge, you can just press G twice after selecting that edge and press Alt to move it outside the body. It will lock an axis that passes along the path that you want to move it to. previous video when I was teaching you about the asset browser, remember we made something very similar to this. That was not similar, kind of the exact same thing. So either if you have that, you can directly use it, or you can make another one. And I'm kind of sure you can actually make this one by yourself. Make a plane, subdivide it twice. If you need a tensor one, you can make it thrice. And then poke the faces. Delete the vertical and horizontal edges. Keep the diagonal ones. Also, when you are making this one, to make your task easier, keep the plane without rotating it. As you can see here, I kind of made it a diagonal, but try to keep it parallel to the ground. That way you can actually make the boundaries easier. You can just make or bring another plane, scale it up, delete its inner portion, inset it, extrude it. That's it. Similarly, you can make the second wooden plank, make a single plane, make 3 duplicates, or you can use loop cuts to delete the extra faces after making the ones you need. Here I use the loop cuts. You can also just make a single plane, use the Are modifier to make more copies of it. Duplicate it, rotate it by 90, scale it according to the reference. That's it. And this is all on real time, so you can see once you learn, it won't take this long, but I tried to keep every footage in this video. Also, if you're making, suppose someday you are making assets for something which requires more optimization, try to keep things as low poly as possible. Something which is not curved should not have more than necessary vertices, right? So try to keep it as low poly as possible. That way you can run the system more smoothly.
You can also change the appearance of your models using the matte caps that's provided by default inside Blender. You can also install other matte caps, but you don't necessarily need it. Matte caps help you see issues in the model. Like you can see flipped faces, you can see the dents. Each matte cap is used for a different purpose, so try to switch between the multiple matte caps and see how it helps you. The darker portions, as you can see in the model, generally shows a flipped face. Sometimes it's just the shadow, but in case you are zooming in on it and still it shows dark, try to go into edit mode, select that face, press Shift N to flip the face. Also, for making fences, don't try to make a single pole, use array, etc. You can just extrude a face, use the wireframe modifier, and the loop cuts will help you for the poles. That will make your work.
For the AC duct, half of the portion is in this video and the remaining part is in the next video. If you want to try it, you can actually try to make this entirely by yourself. The reference is right in front of you. Make loop cuts to make the shapes for the faces, extrude them. For the circle, either you can cut a circle or you can just import a circle, extrude them, make those rings, place it on top of it. That's it. I'll see you in the next video. Welcome to part 3 of our final project. In this video we'll be doing the ducts and few other things. For the ducts you can just make a single, a circle, fill it, or you can just import a sphere, flatten it. If you are using a circle, just scale it, insert it a few times, delete alternate edges, you will get panels. Make a loop cut on all of those, pull them forward, that way you will get those rings. There are actually multiple ways to do this fence. I try to keep it like beginner friendly. When you practice this again and again, you will find there are like some easier ways to do this. You can actually parent that circle thing, parent it through the main AC duct, so that in case you scale it or move it, the ring moves along with it.
have reached this far in the playlist, you're on the right track. I'll see you in the next video.
Hey guys, welcome to part 4 of our final project. In this video we'll be doing the lamp, the antenna, the barrels and few random boxes that we see on our reference. For the lamp, you can just make a circle, extrude it and try to make the cone shape. We actually have a default cone, but you don't necessarily need it. Just try to match the shape. You don't have to be accurate because lamps can have multiple shapes, right? So it's okay. Also, don't forget to shade smooth. For the bulb, I actually used a UV sphere. Delete half of it. If you are having a problem to select it, just select the top vertices. There is a single vertex right on the top. Select it, press Ctrl and plus. It will help you select half of it. Similarly, for the chimney, you can just import a circle, extrude it. Try to match the shape. Make loop cuts wherever you feel it's necessary. And then it's very same to the lamp.
project. In this we'll see how we made the planks for the walls. You can just duplicate the wall, make loop cuts, separate those faces, delete the extra edges, extrude the faces. For the nails, here I actually just duplicated and placed them manually, but instead you can do is use the Are modifier,
shift their Z location slightly. That way they will all be in a line and an angle. So you don't have to actually manually place them just like I did. I also downloaded a color palette for blue for the background. Try to match the reference. If you can't find the exact color, you don't have to worry about it. The background can be any color. You can use the eyedropper tool to match the colors. Here I'm just testing if any of these colors match. You can directly use the drop tool on your image reference, but I actually tried it. It kind of gives the white color more than the blue.